Hey guys, how you doing? This is Andy Huang. 大家好，我是黄家贤. Hey, listen, man, I can never know because see, I'm supposed to look here. Okay, this is where, according to the guys, here's where the camera is. That's where you're supposed to be looking. But as you see it, my eyes are not straight when I look over there because I recorded myself over and over. I wanted to make sure I don't look like cross-eyed or you have no idea what I'm looking at. But anyway, so I'm just gonna look, at the general direction of the phone so you don't think it's weird. Anyway, we were talking about Monopoly. Well, originally we were talking about taking calculated risks every day, and then just in that video, the topic of Monopoly came up, and then I said, you know what, this will be a good topic to go kind of spin into a separate topic video because it can take a little bit of time, and I didn't want to cramp up, I don't want to cramp that in that already, I believe 10 minutes that the video was. So, but anyway, so let's move right along really quick. So we were at the office the other day. For those of you that follow me on social media, and I work for Exit Realty Direct. My broker's name is George Vasquez. He's also an attorney. So he was telling us that, for one of those office meetings, we're gonna all agents gonna come in, we're gonna play a round of Monopoly. Every single agent was like, what? So we thought he was crazy, but he said it's like real life. You'll be surprised how much you can learn about what you can learn in a game of Monopoly. Everyone's like, David was like, oh yeah, okay, he's gonna own the games. So I play many rounds. As I mentioned before, I won more than I lost. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then, but that day came, we were just unbelievable how to turn it out. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let me ask you this then. For those of you that play Monopoly, so for you to get something that I have, for example, you have, suppose you have you want all 4 railroads, and you have 3 and I have 1. How would you go about of convincing me and persuade me to either sell it or whatever tactic you use, you want to own that last, the 4th railroad? Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Same thing goes for, let's see, suppose I have Park Avenue. Okay, Park, for those of you that we know, Park Avenue, Broadway, these are the most expensive properties in the whole game. So what would you do if you have the rest and then you want these? Okay, again, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes and think about what are some of the tactics you or people that you've seen or you think will be a very effective way for you to get it. Okay, so obviously I'm not gonna pause a few minutes. You could just pause right now, think, or you could just blow right through the video. Okay, so here's what happened. Throughout many games of Monopoly, if you have something that I want, the rule of thumb is I will throw money at it. How much do you want? Asking price is $500. I'll give you $1,000. No, $1,500, $2,000, to a point where there's a price on everything. Okay, so, and in that day, it was very interesting because George just said, okay, to one of our agent, her name is Jardy. Well, actually, he extended that offer to everyone. If you have something I want, you will sell it to me. I will give you above asking price, and for the rest of the game, you will go rent-free if you land on my properties. That changes the whole concept. So we were like, what? Again, I mean, the way most of us play Monopoly is you don't know how to play or you didn't know how to play. Someone else would say, oh, this is how you play it, and that's how you learn. No one ever said that was, well, they didn't say that was part of the rule, and yet they didn't say that's against the rule. So I guess it's one of those think outside the box type of moment, and George is very good at it. Okay, so that's why he's a very successful broker and he's a very successful attorney. So, but anyway, coming back to Monopoly. So what had happened was, then it changed the whole, because I have a couple of that he wanted. David, we all do. It was, okay, that day it was me, David, Jardy, Mo, Barbara and George started the game, but as I was telling you, he's an attorney, so he has other obviously other business that he needs to take care of. So there's no way that he can sit through the entire game with us. All right, so he left, and then our office manager Lena finished the game for him. It was just at points that you know what, he had no at some point he had no money. He had literally had $6, I think. Yeah, $6, a single and a 5. I remember that because me and David was like, come on, let's just roll the dice onto anyone. You would either have to forfeit the game, or you have to start mortgaging all your properties. Georgia had a lot of properties because the official rule is you cannot build a house. You cannot build houses unless you have every single one of them. Let's suppose you have the 3 or 4. He got a deluxe edition, so there are extra lands and extra pieces on it. But anyway, the official rules was if you have 4 of the same, you charge triple, and then you can build houses. But you have the 3, then you could charge double, but you can't build houses. So that's how it started. So he wanted it, so he just keep on buying it. He used the same tactic on different agents, and then Jared used to say, sure, fine, and she'll sold it. We were like, oh, what are you doing? As it turned out, at the end, we'll come to it at the end. She actually made the right decisions. So anyway, so that's what George was doing. He was every last dime he earned, because when you pass gold, you have 200. Every last dime he had, he puts right back into the either buying a house or buying another property or making an offer someone else can't refuse. So at that point, when he had $6, we were like, come on, you're gonna lose for sure. Me and David were like, yeah, we got this. Went around and around and around. We must went around like 3-4 times. I'm not talking about like times you throw the dice. 3-4 rounds completely around the entire board. He never, there's no way he's controlling the dice. So he's just incredibly lucky that day. He didn't land on anyone else's property except his. And believe me, yes, he did have a lot, but it's all towards that side, the orange side and the red side. So we have that expensive side, okay, and of course the cheap side. For those of you, the concept you understand, the Monopoly it's 4 sides. The one, if you're looking at this way, let's go clockwise. You have the most expensive one here above a goal, and on the left of the goal is the cheapest, and then gets more expensive to this side, and then on the top, right? So now you have the visualization. So he was so lucky every single time. He would just land on his side. And when he goes to the other side, he would just blow right through it. I mean, I have those expensive properties. He probably landed on probably once in the entire game. So, but anyway, $6. We couldn't take him out. And to a point where we just, Mo was the first, of course. He just, at one point, we all teased him. He he didn't have one single property. So at one point we said, dude, when are you gonna stop paying rent and start owning some properties? And that really kind of got to him. So then he started buying properties, and yet he was the first one to go, which is no surprise. And then Barbara was the second. Barbara was one of those that I was telling you, I didn't want to say anything, but she really got really angry. So and then Dave was like, no, it's only a game. So, but anyway, I mean, don't get me wrong, me and David, we're just as competitive as she was, but I guess the Italian in her kind of just jumped out. But anyway, so, and that's what happened. That's the reason why we were talking about risk, calculated risks, because at the end of that game, obviously the results were between 6 of us. Mo was the first one, and then followed by Barbara was out. And then to my surprise, even today, I was the next. I had far more money. I think at one point I had the most amount of money. Okay, I had more money than anyone. I had more than George, but I had more property than anyone. Then obviously, Georgia side. That's what I meant. And yet, all that doesn't mean anything. When George was able to convince the agents to kind of just fork over their properties, by having rent free, he started to get massive properties, and then he built houses, and then he built hotels. And obviously it doesn't matter how much money you have. I learned that on David's David started collecting railroads, and then he upgraded the railroad, so each time is $400. How many $400 can you spend? Okay, so I landed on, I think, 4, 5, 6 times, whatever. And then the same thing goes with when Lena was taking over. she built the hotel, and the rent was, I think at one point was like $1,800. I said, if I land on, I'm done. I landed on like 4 times. That's like 7, 8. Think about it, $1,800. That's like almost $8,000. And then factor in the $400 a pop on the train yard of David. I'm surprised. At one point I was like, wow, tens of thousands of dollars. I'm gonna own this game. So that just goes to show you, you know what? And that's what George was saying. The reason why we're playing that game is because, we're all grown-ups, we're all adults. Of all the games, why did I pick that? Because it shows how you are as a person when it comes to taking risks. Okay, and then when he said something, that really hit me. Because he said, throughout most of our lives, we were, maybe it wasn't genetic, but definitely by the way we were brought up, we were told not to take risks, save money for rainy days. That's how I was. Even so, that George said, but you don't realize that in-game money, it's not even real money, but the way your brain operates, and then the way your personality runs, it stops you, it prohibits you from taking risks, even calculated risks. So he followed by a lot of other great examples. I don't want to take it away from this video, because we're talking about I'll throw it in, because we're not really talking about Monopoly. We're just talking about strategies, and also just in life in general. So he said, if you had a way, okay, if you give me everything you have, okay, so you only have $50,000. Okay, so if you give me this $50,000, there is a guarantee for the rest of your life, you will never have to worry about money. Would you do it? In other words, all you have is $50. You give me every dime you have just to gamble. Okay, there is a 30% chance you'll be so rich that money, you don't have to worry about money. 30% chance. There is 70% chance that you're gonna lose everything you have, and you're just gonna get flat broke, not a penny under your name. Would you do it? I ask yourself this right now. I couldn't do it. Even in a hypothetical scenario where, sure, I would do it, but see, your mind is trained to always, let's be safe, let's be conservative, let's not gamble, this, that, and everything else, right? So it just goes, it's very interesting. And then we also talked about how, it's like buying lottery also. Why do people buy lottery? Okay, and then believe it or not, people who hit those jackpots, some of them, they hit multiple times. Not just, you hit it once. No, there's few of them. There's a study out there. But George asked us, why do you think why do you think those lottery owners, the winners, they're always broke? And then some of them, they win multiple times. Why are they still broke? And then what George said was just so, it just hit you right on the head. It just said, because these people are bad of making decisions for their money, period, to begin with. So I was like, wow. I mean, it's kind of, it's very harsh. So basically you're telling everyone, who's buying lottery idiots. In a way, yeah, because when you think about it, and we all know the odds. We know the odds. Okay, the chances for you to win lottery, it's next to none. And yet people spend, again, that conservative side in me always takes over. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna buy $1. Okay, and then you remember that slogan, lottery slogan. All you need is $1 and a dream. I have multiple dreams and I have $1, so I'll go buy it. So you know, and they're laughing. They say, you know what, the chances of you to buy to win that single $1 ticket, it's just, you have better chance to getting hit, struck by the lightning multiple times. I'm like, okay, but that's just how it is, you know. But I know people who spend hundreds and thousands of dollars, you know, on scratch offs. You know, I was next to, for those of you that you know, I was with Doshi at one point. You know, Anish, he was like a brother to me. I was out with him one day. We were at Bond Street, and then we were just, I was shocked. He spent like $400 or $500 on scratch offs. Scratch offs to me, it's like one, to the most. I buy Mother's Day, give it to my mom. Here, good luck. I hope you win. I hope you win the money. That's it. I have never seen people who teared out multiple connected scratch offs. Okay, so I'm not talking about those $1, $3 one. I'm not even talking about the $10 one. I was so shocked that there is in every possible the dollar amount you could think of. I thought scratch offs like $1, $3, $5, $10 the most. Then I found out there's 20, there's 30, there's one for $50. When I saw that $50 for a scratch offs, yeah, again, the greater the risks, greater the reward. So he must spend like $500-$600 that day on scratch offs. You know, he of course he recovered some. So I think he literally, as we're scratching, he's win on those like 50, 100, 200. So I think altogether, yes, he spent about 600. He ended up making, I think, 400 or 500. So he's not out 600. He's out maybe 100, maybe 200. But when he say play this on like not daily basis but frequently, I was like, whoa. I mean, again, we're not worried about him. He would never have to worry about, not only him, his kids won't have to worry about money. Let's put it that way. But it just, I'm telling you, some people, he is the smartest man that I, you know, other than Dr. Doshi. These two are the smartest people that I've worked with. So I was fortunate enough to become their understudy, or whatever you want to call them, protege, or, you know, for almost 20 years. I am who I am, you know, today because of them. So I'm eternally grateful for, you know, for Dr. Doshi's and Anish. So, and that's really sincerely from the bottom of my heart. But anyway, so that's what happened. So when you think about it, this is what we're talking about. How much risks is too much risks, is what you have to ask yourself. To some people, spending $1,000 means nothing, and yet for some others, spending $5, $50, it's like they're bleeding, literally. Like you take a knife, you cut them, and their bank account, it's identical, if not the $50 more. All right. In other words, you know, you have $500,000 in your account. I have $500,000 in my account. I'm spending money, $1,000, $2,000, like, okay, and you're spending like $50, like, oh my God, the world's gonna end, and yet we have the same amount of money in the bank account. That's the example that I was getting at. All right, so I know we talked about a little bit more than we originally anticipated, but I think it's good because now, as you can see, those video clips, I'm in my car a lot, like what I was telling you guys. I'm on appointments a lot, you know, going from here to there to meet, you know, buyers and sellers. I mean, potential buyers and sellers, you know, people who's looking to rent out their places. So I'm always on the road. I think I drive more. Well, I shouldn't say that. I thought I drive more than Uber drivers, but then I found out, because one of my friends actually an Uber driver, so then he told me how much he was driving. That was just crazy. But I do drive a lot. I'm always, as you can see it when I put out these videos, I'm always in my car, either going to an appointment, coming back from an appointment. So that's why in the car I have a lot, you know, time to myself. And then all of these, everything I'm telling you right now is all about up here. So the reason why I decided to put it in video is because I frequently get asked these questions, and then you know, and then every time when I tell someone something, at the end, see, I'm the type of person, when I tell you something, in the back of my head I always think about it, you know, like at nighttime also. I'm like, man, I should have used that example that I used last time. So I decided to, you know what, put the best thoughts and best ideas in videotape shapes, because you know what, YouTube's always going to be around. Anyone who wants to learn it, they'll just look up YouTube. And then you know, it's just you know, some of the, you know, would be great advice, some of them just, you know, life in general, some of them just basically just chit chat. So anyway, so thank you guys for spending time with me. You know, I had a great time, and then I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. The sun is coming out, beautiful right now, and then the weekend is supposed to be okay, not so bad, consider. So enjoy, and then have a fantastic rest of the day. Have an awesome weekend.